welcome to another video. In today's lesson we are going to learn how to make a pair of slippers. This is going to be a series of videos as there are 6 different sizes and I've broken them up into 6 different tutorials. All the links will be below in the description box for the different sizes. As you can see from this photo, there are different widths. The slipper is very easy to adjust the length, so as long as you have the width right, you can make the length the size that you desire. All sizes also have a free written pattern. You can find the link to my website and the pattern in the description box below the video. If you are using sports weight, 8-ply or double knit yarn, I suggest that you use the next size up in the videos. In today's video we'll be using Red Heart Super Saver in the colour Deft Blue, and we will need just over 3.5 ounces or just over 100 grams of yarn for this project. So let's get started on the lesson. For today's supplies we're going to need a yarn needle with a large eye. We're going to need some scissors. These scissors are now available on my website. I will put the link below so you can go and check them out. We're going to use a crochet hook that is smaller than what is recommended for our yarn. The worsted weight 4-ply asks for a 5.5 or an eye size hook, and this is a 4.5. So you want something that's 2 sizes smaller. This is equivalent to about a G size. I don't think the US has a 4.5 hook, but something that is 2 sizes smaller than what you would normally use, because we want firm tension, because these slippers will stretch a little bit, but if you've got firm tension they're going to stretch a little bit less. So to start off we're going to use a magic ring. Plenty of different ways to do this, but this is how I make mine. I just wrap the yarn around my fingers, pinch that, take it off. We'll put a hook through. You could also use the chain 4 and join method as well. You're going to chain 3. Then we're going to work 2 double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 1. Work 3 double crochets into the center ring. Chain 1, and altogether we need 6 groups of 3 double crochets. So the chain 3 counts as our first stitch, so that's 1, 2, so 3 double crochets into the center. Chain 1, again 3 double crochets in the center. Chain 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Work 3 more into here. Chain 1, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we need 6 altogether, so that's 3 more double crochets and a chain 1. Chain 1. Just going to pull that, make that a little bit better. And we're going to join into the top of the chain 3, which is the chain that is closest to the top, which is the 3rd chain. And that is round 1. To get up to the next round, what we need to do is slip stitch across in these 2 stitches. So going into the top of the double crochets, oops, we're going to work a slip stitch, and also into that one. And we're also going to slip stitch into the chain 1 space. We want to chain up 3, work 2 double crochets back into the same chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 double crochets back into the chain 1 space, the same one that we just worked in. And into each chain 1 space around, we will be working 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And this is our increase round. So next one, do the same thing. We're going to do this all the way around, and I will meet up with you when we get to the end of the round. So there we go, we've got an increase, we've got 3 chain 1, 3 in each chain 1 space around. When we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. You can pull that a little bit tighter, and that will come loose again, but we will fix it up at the end. So to get to the next row, we need next round, sorry, we need a chain. Geez, my tongue is not in properly today. We need a slip stitch across and also into that space. And now we want to form the toe section of our slipper. So chain 3, 2 double crochets into the same space. And we're not using a chain 1 anymore. Into each space around, so into this one, we're just working 3 double crochets. Into the next one, 3 double crochets. Into each space around, that's what we're going to do, is work 3 double crochets. So continue around, and I will meet up to you when we're back to here. When we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch across to our next space, also into there. And from now on, we just repeat the round that we just did. So it's just 3 double crochets into each space. And we want to do that until we have a total of 11 rows, including this one. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to keep going until we have 11 rows altogether. And of course, if you want the toe section of your slipper shorter or longer, you can adjust that with the amount of rows that you make. Pattern's only a guide only, so if you want to change it up, feel free. But don't forget to write down what you did, because you will need to repeat it for the other one. So just working 3 double crochets into each space around, and repeating that and joining until from the beginning we have 11 rows in total. And it will start as to form like a little bowl shape, and the further you get along, you'll see it start to form your slipper. So I'll catch up with you when we have all of our 11 rows done. Once we have our 11 rows in total, that'll make a really cute little bag if you added some handles on that, wouldn't it? Now we're going to work, here's one I prepared earlier, we're going to work on this side section here. So to start that one, what we do is slip stitch again across to our space, chain 3, 2 double crochets into the same space. So this bit is exactly what we did before. What we're going to do is we're going to work around, and the last 3 holes or spaces, so that's where we've started, so 1, 2, 3, we're going to stop here. We want the last 3 holes left empty. So you could place a stitch marker there or here, and that will remind you just to go up to there, or you could just check it as you're going along. So these 3 holes we're going to stop. So crochet around, and I'll meet you when we're up to the 4th hole from the end, so which is here, because it's 1, 2, 3, and that's the 4th space. We're going to stop when we get to there. So this is what's going to look like. You're going to have your beginning, and then you go around, and then this is where we've just finished, and we've got 1, 2, 3 spaces, and we're going to leave those unworked. So this is how we continue on. We're going to chain up 3, and we're going to turn our work around, so turn it so it's facing like that, and into this space we're going to work 3. So get that bit out of the way. In this space we're going to work 3 double crochets. Ugh. And each space across we're going to work 3 double crochets. And when we work the sides, what we want to do is we want the ends of the row to look exactly the same. So the end of this row has 1 stitch by itself, and then it has a space, and then it has 3 double crochets. And we want the other end to mirror image what is on the same, what is on the edge there. So when we get to the end, we have 3 double crochets. We'll need a space and then 1 stitch by itself. So our 1 stitch by itself goes into the end stitch, into that last stitch. So working into there. Try and go through 2 loops, because this is actually the chain 3 from the beginning of the row. Yep, so go through there. So that's the 1 stitch by itself, because the beginning of the row has the 1 stitch by itself. See how they look the same? So now what we want to do is turn our work around again. And when we're working the sides, another tip to remember is it's going to alternate between our 2 rows that we repeat, alternate between 3 at the beginning and 1 at the beginning. So we've got 3 stitches here, then we've got 1, and we alternate between those 2 rows, so our next row needs to have 3 stitches. So to get our 3 stitches, we chain up 3, then we work into this space and work 2 double crochets. See, we've got 3 there, 1 and then 3. And now just the easy bit, 3 double crochets into each space across. When we get to the end, so the beginning here was 3 stitches. When we get to the end, and you may have already done this, which is perfectly fine, you're going to work 3 double crochets into the last space. And what we do is we just repeat these rows, those 2 rows that we've just done, alternating between the 3 at the beginning and then the 1 at the beginning. So we've got 3 there, so we know that 1 is next. So I'll just show you that. I'm sure you've already got the hang of it, but just in case. We need the 1 at the beginning, so we need to have a space, and we work into here with our 3 double crochets. And then that will create the space at the beginning, just here. So repeat those 2 rows, and for this size I've worked a total of 13 rows of this section, so start counting here and then count 13. But of course, if you need it longer or shorter, you can adjust that with the amount of rows that you do, and I will meet up to you when I have the length done on the back of the slipper. When we have the amount of rows that we need, we're going to be working along, this is the slipper down here, going to be working along this edge. If you finished on a chain, sorry, not a chain 3, a double crochet into the last stitch, you're probably going to be having your yarn over this side. So what you'll need to do is just, first of all, get yourself out of a knot. You'll need to slip stitch, so your yarn will be joined on this side, just slip stitch across over to here, and then your yarn will be in the right position to start our border. So we need to chain 1. What we're going to do, there's not really stitches to work into, like there's not proper stitches to work into like a normal row, so we're just going to find the stitch. So we're going to go into here, single crochet, try and go under 2 loops if you can. And just working your way across, we are able to work even stitches. So continue on all the way around until we get back to the other side. When we get to the end, we're going to slip stitch into the first single crocheted join. Then we're going to work a round of single crochet, just going into each stitch. And continue on until we go right around and get back to here. So when we get to back to the beginning, we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And when we cut our yarn, we want to cut off about 8 inches or about 20 centimeters, because we need enough to sew the back seam. And you would not believe me if I told you this, because I'm going to show you. This is what I just cut off. And this is how much I have left on my ball. So how was that for good going? And if I was going to use that for scraps, I can cut that end bit off because it's actually got a yucky colour on it. So get rid of that. So yeah, that's all workable yarn that I had left on that ball. So yeehaw for stash busting. So what we need to do is pull that out there. That will secure that off. Turn it inside out. Find your yarn needle. What we want to do is lay it flat. Make sure these are lined up together. I could see it running out and I was thinking, oh no, it's going to make me join a new colour in, a new piece of yarn in. So what we need to do, because the yarn is over here, we want to stitch a few stitches across. Just so our yarn is coming out on the other side. And then we want to stitch this together. And I'm going to go through both loops on both pieces. Probably could also slip stitch this together. I prefer the sewing method, so completely up to you what you want to do. So for more free written patterns, I have them on my website. I think about 75% of my videos have a written pattern, so that's really good. Been getting on top of things and getting them all written out. And that takes almost, well, it actually takes longer than making the tutorial because you have to have the pattern tested and everything, so it is a long progress writing out a pattern. Many hours go into it. Okay, so to finish off, we don't want to pull that loop tight. You want to go through there. That just secures that off there. And you want to make sure that's not all bunched up together, like it can start to go like that. You want it all nice and neat, laying flat. And then we're going to thread our needle back through. See how it's all bunched up. We want to pull that so it's not bunched up, and then go back down. So our stitch came out here, so we're going to skip a couple of stitches. Thread that back through. Again, making sure it doesn't all bunch up. Finding scissors and snip. And then for this one, see how it's all come undone and gone loose again? Let's thread that. Can you hear the rain? Just started to rain. I'm freezing here today. I have a blanket on my lap as I'm filming. And last week it was 38 degrees Celsius. And for anybody that doesn't know what Celsius is, 38 degrees is hot. Hot, hot, hot. At a wild guess, that's probably around 100 degrees. I'm not quite sure, but that's probably just a good guess. Okay, so to secure this one off, because that will gradually come undone, when I get to the last bit, I just like to go through a couple of stitches. And now that frog in the drain pipe started off because it's raining. Do that one like that, and then thread it back through a couple of times. I went to film yesterday and it started off, so I went out there and bashed the drain pipe and it was quiet. But it's raining at the moment, so I'm not doing that right now. So after we've done that, snip off your ends. Because we've knotted that, it won't come undone. Put it back the right way. This thing is so big. Oh, it does fit in. I was about to say it doesn't even fit in the camera. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video tutorial. Please check out my website. Like I said, there's plenty of more free patterns over there, and the free pattern to this slipper will be over there as well. Share your creations on our Facebook page. We love to see what everyone's been up to. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy crochet.